So this is this deck's got some history, even though it's brand new, I guess. This is an idea from Coatl, Qasali. The idea of playing Glittering Wish in a Lurrus control deck, so that way you actually have access to the Teferis, is the main idea. And then Panda donated for it, giving a draft, and I made some changes where the Tarmogoyfs, I think, are really bad in bans. Like, your removal is Exile based. Tarmogoyf is like really often a 2-mana 2/3. Sometimes, you know, 1/2. I guess not that often 1/2. Mary went through 3 months. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a good day today. And I've also you know, I like, usually when I build these like Wish sideboards, when I have like cards like Glittering Wish or Karn the Great Creator in my deck, I usually like to go really heavy in the first drafts on Wish targets so that way you can kind of see like which kind of fringe ones perform and which ones don't. I think the targets you definitely want are Ashiok, the 2 Teferis, and Supreme Verdict. I think that Wheel of Sun and Moon is a really good target. I think that Detention Sphere and Dovin's Veto are good targets. Qasali Pridemage specifically also seems really good because you can keep sacking it off of Lurrus. And then I've got a couple of like flex spots where you have Rhox War Monk against the red decks. 3 mana, 3/4 lifelink might be, you know, Rhox War Monk might be a little underpowered. I thought about playing Tolstemir, Friend to Wolves. I thought about playing Heroes Reunion, which is 2 mana, gain 7 life, which is probably better than this against Burn, but like this, you could maybe be better against Prowess. Probably not that good even. And then Koma, Cosmos Serpent against the control decks. 7 mana, can't be countered. Beginning of each upkeep, make a 3/3, just go way over the top in control matchups. Tails in largely to have some cards against Tron, but Tron seems like an abysmal matchup, and I spent a long time trying to figure out how to make Tron a good matchup. And there is actually a 4 mana green-black land destruction spell that also gains you 2 life that I almost put in the deck, but I realized that card was not going to win me any game against Tron, so I decided not to include it. That is the illustrious history here. Let's just jump into it. Let's keep this. My opponents revealed Yorion the Sky Nomad, so no, hopefully not Tron. Although I have seen Mono Blue Tron play Yorion a couple times. Tenno, 13 months, Baker's dozen me spike. Now I would like to go to a bakery right about now. Probably should upkeep sacked. See, they're drawing an Aether Vial next turn. If we Anthonize the Giver runes on the Floodplain, it does open us up a little bit to Field of Ruin, but I want to fetch before Arbiter, and I also want to cast the Opt this turn. Oh, Tech Edge as well. Snapcaster seems okay. Doesn't seem great. The bottom. For yesterday's deck, I was wondering if we were playing Indotha Triumph for Deicide in the sideboard. I don't think so, because I actually don't think the Tron matchup is particularly bad. Do we get a Pridemage here? Pridemage actually seems kind of good. We can like Lurrus Pridemage. Oh, that's gonna pop up. This also answers the Batter Skull. Yeah, Field of Ruin. This is really not that bad a turn for us. We can go Pridemage. We can just cast Pridemage with Mana Leak up if we want. We can hold up Cryptic Command. What do we Anthonize the Floodplain? Well, I talked about the turn we did it, but I wanted to fetch my breeding pool before a possible lead-in Arbiter came down. But I mean, Anthonice is terrible against Death and Taxes. Anthonice is like, I think it's better against most of the metagame. It's better against Prowess and Shadow. It's worse against Taxes. And, you know, we, of course, paired against Taxes here. And I think that's okay, too. Let's go ahead and get the Pridemage down. Can I play one league of Bring to Light today, please? If our, maybe. I'm not going to commit to it. I will probably play it tomorrow. That being said, it will depend on how long this portion of the stream takes, and then it'll also depend on how long, because I do, there are some changes I want to like try off stream, I suppose. Go Lurrus in hand, I think. There's some changes I want to try, like. I think it's maybe better to be playing no ops, or so no Thought Scours, and then Mana Leak's Decays instead of the Thought Scour Drown package. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure, dude. I'm just not sure. Stealing Vial would be really nice if I draw it untap blue. Didn't. Can't path the Archon. Well, we can path it. It's not going to work. I just cast Lurrus. Can't Bauble because of the Archon, but I think I still cast it. I think I could Anthonice the Giver next turn. Can maybe force a path to Exile. We know their hand is Batterskull. Then it'll be 2 mystery cards with access to Yorion and then the Silent Clearing. Personally, I feel like Mana Leak Decay would make your control matchup worse. I don't really care that much about that. But you're not wrong. But yeah, you're not wrong. But I don't care too much about the control matchup being worse. Land is really nice to draw. Well, I wish I could have stole. I mean, I guess we can go steal Giver of Runes on our turn. Hold up Path. Oh shit. Man, Archon is a good card. So let's go Path to Giver on our turn, then hold up Mana Leak on theirs for the Yorion, potentially. My opponent's going to put Batterskull into play, also off the Stoneforge Mystic. Well, they just drew a card instead? I think that's really good for me. My worry is that you would be discard your whole hand and they counted the last copy. Oh, sorry, I guess I thought that was responding to something else. I don't think they're going to cast anything into my Mana Leak. They're just going to Tech Edge me? Oh, it's just game over. Oh, they're not going to Tech Edge me. Alright, let's Mana Leak this so they can't Tech Edge me, but I think we're going to lose this game. Opponent's hand is Yorion, Batterskull. Still really see how we get out of this. I don't think we can. Bummer. You played your Soul Catalyst last night and got wrecked by control. Control matchups, I feel, is real swingy, where like you have some draws that can just totally outgrind them, and then you have some draws that you just like draw 2 Ariok champions and you can never win. Do you feel like that matchup is very swingy? Man, Taxes seems like a bad matchup here too. Okay, let's get these Force of Negations out of here. We're gonna have to bring in some cards. Let's bring in. We can play the first Tail's End, the Pridemage, and we can maybe bring in the Verdict. Wishing for Verdict's probably very slow. Wish targets are still the Teferi's, Detention Sphere, Rhox War Monk. Seems fine. Just need to get the Force of Negations out of the deck. Let's keep this. Well, I like that we have an Archmage's Charm for the Vial, although if my opponent has a turn 2 Thalia, We won't be able to steal the Vial on turn 3. Yeah, Sedgemoor Witch is really cool. I've actually seen a lot of people saying that they've been winning in Vintage with Sedgemoor Witch. Like having 2 generic mana on the cost is like it's similar to Monastery Mentor in some regards. Next turn we can go Onthanize Snap Charm, assuming my opponent doesn't kill a land. But even if they kill a land, we're kind of flooded anyways, so I don't think it matters that much. Well, that was really good for them. I'm actually just gonna exile the Wisp. Snapcaster kind of blocks the Arbiter pretty well. Sedgemoor Witch, of course, not triggering off of artifacts. Does seem like it's a pretty big downside, and well, that doesn't really do anything against me. Let's see what my top card is. Prismatic Vista. I think I do just want to establish Lurrus Bauble here. And I do have one more look at like an Ice-Fang or a Mana Leak, so I'll play out the basic planes. This also lets me pay for Arbiter. I mean, being a 3/4 flyer isn't nothing, I guess. Yeah, the Stormkiln Artist is pretty cool. I've been thinking like Stormkiln Artist is maybe the enabler for Magda. Is that the name of the card? What is that card? The Dwarf Lord that makes treasures, and you can sack treasures to put an artifact or a dragon into play. Feels like maybe that card is the enabler we needed, you know? That being said, it's like you're playing a bunch of dwarves, and then you also need to be playing instants. It's kind of a lot, but there might be something there. Expressive Iteration is being played in Delver. It's cool. Yeah, but I've been thinking about more iteration shells as well, and it's kind of tough to figure out, honestly. There's another Bauble on top. I'd really like to attack here. I think my opponent's not going to block. Say Frosty 2 months. Played your copycat deck last night. Felt insane. Have you already considered adding green? Yeah, we played a green version of the deck. Oh no, I need to get an island here. Oh shit. We played a green version of the deck for a dono deck like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I think Sedgemoor Witch is really good in Vintage for sure. Maybe Legacy. But like Monastery Mentor, cards like that in Modern don't tend to be successful, you know? So we can Snap Steal the Germ next turn. How does Lurrus work if you wish for, say, Teferi befooting Lurrus into your hand? You can still companion Lurrus. Yikes. Worst possible, maybe? But oh no, I cited out the stupid Supreme Verdict. I mean, I feel like I had to just so I could like I feel like I had to cite out the Supreme Verdict. This feels bad. So Desphere the Stone Forges, but that doesn't do too much. Yeah, Rhox War. Yeah, Rhox War Monk's time to shine. Maybe. We can go to Teferi plus. Die, I guess. Draw path. Yeah. Siding in, whatever. So, you guys know what I mean. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I felt like I had decided the verdict because any other I need to get the Force of Negations out of the deck, and I guess I could have played the second Tail's End in the main. So that was maybe a mistake. Alright, dead. Didn't draw the path. Bummer. Seemed like a pretty bad matchup. I feel like I've been saying that all week. Necessarily, but I have seen like Lawrence and a few other people. I've seen this list too. But yeah, I think I saw Lawrence's tweet as well already. But I just don't know if I've seen any deck list or anything. How did the brought back brews end up going? Honestly, it's like I think our first draft was the best draft, and I'm just kind of I will return to it at some point, I think. But I think we ended up pivoting too much after initially running hot. Let's go to mulligan this hand. Sorry, meant to put back to plains. I was thinking I'm going to opt on turn 1, and my monkey brain just put back opt. How's the Jessica Cat deck versus Blue-White X Control? Blue-White X Control is usually favored. That being said, you have some draws that are really good against them. The problem is you have the Ariak Champions main deck, and then you're cold to sweepers. Teferi can be good against you. But I think it's okay to just have an unfavorable blue-white control matchup. It's not unwinnable. It's not that bad. But they're favored, I think. Where did Foothills go? I think I'm just holding a Mana Leak this turn. Because if this could be Dredge, this could be John, it could be Ponza, it could be a lot. Obviously, a red aggro deck. 4-color control looks like. So maybe this game we're gonna go Mana Leak into Cryptic into Glittering Wish for Teferi the Fun Raveler. Or 4-color Bring to Light Shift could be, I suppose. Or maybe this turn we'll go Glittering Wish with Mana Leak up. Grab the Fun Raveler. Shuts off Bring to Light. Glittering Wish exiling itself. Kind of a nombo in this deck with Snapcaster Mage and Logic Knot. I think I Mana Leak this. Mana Leak gets kind of dead in this matchup. I also really want to use my Mana Leak so that a card goes to the yard for Logic Knot. If I draw land, I can go to Teferi Knot up, of course. If I don't, I'll probably just hold the Cryptic. Okay, did draw the land. Sick. Less than sick. Can't Logic Knot that. I mean, 2 for 1, I guess. Yeah, I could put Lurrus in hand next turn. Kind of feels weird to tap out of Cryptic, but obviously option. I think I'm just gonna grab the Prairie Stream here. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold up Cryptic Logic Knot. Feel pretty ahead here. Opponent's missing lands. I mean, their deck plays mostly at sorcery speed, and so to have 4 spells in hand, but not want to cast any of them, obviously implies that they have potentially Escape Shift, Lightning Bolts, or they just want to maybe find a spot where they're better positioned against counter spells. The deck is feeling okay, Darsh. The deck was really hard to figure out the slots for it. I think we have too many Glittering Wish targets. It's also possible that this deck would be better built if it played like 3 Glittering Wish and like mainly like just have like the Teferis and the Verdicts and the Ashiok. But I wanted to like try out this version first that had like a ton of Glittering Wish targets just to see if any of the targets are really going to overperform. The companion in this deck is Lurrus, so the idea is that you can Glittering Wish for your Teferis and still get Lurrus as a companion, which I view and just is one of the best things to be doing in Modern is have Lurrus Bauble. And then you still get to play with the Teferis with the Glittering Wishes, although they're a bit worse when you have to wish for them. But you also have other wish targets, Yeah, this was initially, I believe, Quasikotl's idea. I don't think this matters very much. It's probably worth mana leaking, though. Yeah, I don't know if this is a good idea, but it's a spicy idea. This is exactly the kind of idea I really like to have for the dono decks, right? Maybe it would have been better to Cryptic, since we could go Lurrus with Logic Knot and Mana Leak up next turn. But I'm all 3 donation decks today are like really just like perfect donation decks in my opinion. Then Bring to Light on top. Is Rhox War Monk better than Kitchen Finks in matchups where you want that effect? I think it is. 4 toughness matters a lot. I could be wrong. I considered Kitchen Finks. I considered Tolsimir, Friend to Wolves. I considered Heroes Reunion. I think that all of these options feel reasonable to me. I actually just want to use the most expensive counterspell here when I have Lurrus going. If they have, I don't think they can go lands. I mean, I guess they theoretically could go land or land Dryad Valakut, but they've been missing lands. Doesn't really feel like they have it. Yeah, Tolsimir always reminds me of the Remy sketch. Tolsimir, friend to wolves. Bolsimir, lover to sheep. So opponent's hand contains Bring to Light. I think that's the only card we know. Is it really a brew if it won a challenge? This deck? This deck won a challenge? Or talking about your opponent's deck? What are we talking about? Oh, I see. I see the comment. Is the opponent on a sort of Scape Shift brew? No, they're playing the challenge. I mean, this is a very popular deck right now. The Bring to Light Scape Shift. You can also Bring to Light for Valky. It's really kind of like a ramp mid-range deck, maybe you would call it. Nice to get to squeak out a little extra value off Snapcaster. I think I'm gonna go Snap Charm to draw 2. They don't usually play counter spells. Nice. Mystic Sanctuary with extra steps. It's funny. Yeah, there's a lot of different variants of our opponent's deck. It's been pretty popular lately. It's kind of like the new hotness in the last week or two. Hey Pi, good morning. How are you doing today? What do they win with? Scape Shift. They also have Bring to Light for Valky. They also have Omnath, Dryad Valakut. So they have a lot of win conditions. So it's it can be kind of difficult to fight them since they have obviously a lot of angles of attack. But Teferi is one of the best cards against them. Ashiok's actually really good against them, but don't tell Ashiok I said that. No, yeah, they're not playing Niv. They do have black mana to be able to cast Valky, but that's the only thing they have black for, I think. So I think what the Tails Ends against them. Tails End is also like pretty good against them. Counters Omnath, Rin and 6, Teferi Time Raveler, Valky / Tybalt, fetch lands. So I think I just want to go into Tail's End -2 path. They sometimes play some counter spells in the 75. It's not that common though, so I don't think I want Veil. Can you Glittering Wish for the Exiles? Can you Glittering Wish for the Exiles Lurrus from the path? I believe Glittering Wish only says outside the game. Yes, so you used to be able to wish for cards in Exile, yes. Because I believe Exile used to be removed from the game instead of having an Exile zone. But now in Exile is still considered in the game. That being said, Card the Great Creator, specifically on it says from outside the game or in Exile. So that's why the Genius Ugin's Nexus plus Karn the Great Creator brew worked. Worked is maybe an exaggeration for that deck. Let's keep this. The Chalice version's been playing Mana Leaks. Good to know. Yeah, there's a lot of different versions of these decks, which is certainly another strength of the archetype, right? Is that there's so many different ways you can build these decks, and it's kind of hard to know exactly what your opponent's on unless you're playing, you know, open decklist tournament. Haven't wished for Rhox War Monk yet, but I'm glad that everybody's as hyped for it as I am. I like that card a lot. I don't know if I've ever cast it. I've cast it in like a Pauper Cube before, but I don't think I've ever cast it in Constructed. Yeah, War Monks is yeah, for the burn red decks. I think you want one sideboard card for those. I thought about playing Tolsimir. I thought about playing Heroes Reunion, 2 mana gain, 7 life. Do get the Fun Raveler because it's just I mean maybe Ashiok is actually better. They play so many fetch lands. And if they don't play counter spells, maybe Ashiok is better. Obviously, it turns off Bring to Light. Turns off Scape Shift. This draws cards. Let's get Ashiok. I don't think they're playing counter spells. This is a Bant deck, so it doesn't use the graveyard much. Do you think that Uro would be good? No. No. There's no way Uro is like a constructed playable card. People keep suggesting terrible cards. They keep suggesting a Symbol of the Legion, Uro, Mystic Sanctuary, Bitter Blossom, Field of the Dead. I just don't understand all these terrible suggestions from chat. I mean, like, why would you... Like, there's honestly, like, only one good sideboard card in Modern. Dude, Ashiok is the best card in Modern. It's crazy. And now we finally figured out how to play Ashiok in a Lurrus deck. I mean, do I care about Rin and 6? We have Ashiok in play. they get their Wooded Foothills back. Yeah, that actually is the definition of Checo. Hell yeah. Maybe I should minus Ashiok on myself, although that opens up the Ashiok to a Bolt plus Rin and 6 ping. Drawing the Logic Knot, definitely want to minus here on myself. No, I don't have Ashiok on the wall. Maybe I should. I keep meaning to write Checo on a post-it note and put it up on the wall. Checo definitely needs to be up there. What does Scape Shift do if you bring in Leyline of Sanctity? They can just kill you. They can just balance it with Teferi Time Raveler. Or kill you with Valky, kill you with Omnath. How I hate the Veil of Bummer. It's illegal to have 2 Veil of Summers, as everyone knows. Flooded Strand on top. Drawing the Bauble, I think I would just like to put Lurrus in my hand and hold up the Logic Knot. Then Lurrus can kill Rin and 6 if that's their threat here. Feels worth logic nodding, I guess. Could wish for Dovin's Veto if we want to. We can wish for, obviously, Teferi. We can wish for any multicolored card here. How it works. Their hand is Wooded Foothills. Mystery card. They decide not to sack the fetch land into Ashiok this time. We can't quite... We can just put Teferi in play. I think Lurrus is going to be our best option here. Ashiok really stops most of their scary things. They have an Omnath on top, but they can't cast it. They don't have any white mana. Maybe they could be sandbagging a white source. We have on the nice for Omnath too, so it's maybe not even the end of the world. You guys see Mill running around a little bit, yeah. Not a ton, a little bit. Bottom of the land, draw a land. Draw another Ice-Fang. Draw another land. Okay, let's bubble ourselves here. Force of Negation. Would certainly like to draw that one. So let's play the Forest. So we're drawing Force, so I don't think we need the Dovin's Veto as much. I think it's just obviously between the Teferis here. And with Ashiok in play, like Bring to Light is shut off, so I think we picked the better of the two Teferis. Kasmina plus Ashiok, wow, combo. Pont to not be playing Kasmina to wish for too. Yeah, I considered Night of Autumn, but I think that I'm playing the Pridemage over Night of Autumn because you can recur it with Lurrus. I don't think you want to play both. I could be wrong. Yeah, this is such a cool deck. Really cool idea. I don't know, it's like... Hogak was the biggest mistake in Horizons. Astrolabe was a draft common that they didn't realize was broken and constructed, and I think we can maybe give them a pass on that, since I think most of us, when we read Arkham's Astrolabe, didn't know it was broken and constructed. At least I didn't, you know. We've got Ops in our deck. I think I'm going to Bauble on my turn. Do you think the Force cycle will be reprinted in Image 2? If I said yes or if I said no, it would just be I have no idea is my answer, I suppose. I don't know if there's been any information about it. But if I said yes or no, it would not be based in reality at all, you know? I shuffled away Flooded Strand. Reveal Flooded Strand. I bottom Flooded Strand. Revealed Flooded Strand to Bauble. Drew Flooded Strand off Bauble. My deck is all Flooded Strands. Importantly, Throne came out shortly after Hogak was banned, which is when people started paying attention to most of the rest of MH1. That sounds about right. Written 6 and Legacy was certainly a mistake. That's true. I think that the card. So there's like 5 cards that you can make arguments for in MH1 that were unbalanced, right? It's you can make like Hogak and Astrolabe definitely. Ascendant Spirit. We're going to lose to Ascendant Spirit? It's Hogak, Astrolabe, and then like Written 6, Urza. But like Urza is fine if you don't have enablers for it, obviously. Gross. The problem is like they had to ban the enablers. Then Written 6, and then you could like maybe make an argument that Plague Engineer is like a little too pushed, but don't think it's a huge deal. And that is a lot of cards for one set. I will certainly admit that is a lot of cards for one set to be overpowered, you know. But when you compare it to Throne of Eldraine, Throne of Eldraine probably has like 10 cards, maybe more than that are design mistakes. And then it was also like this M20 that had Veil, Summer, and Field of the Dead were also like real. Is it on tonight's on top? I guess we'll draw that. Musi, thank you for the raid, buddy. Appreciate you. And Canister, thank you for the raid. Let's see some faithless lootings in the chat. We're actually playing Canister's favorite format, Pioneer, later today. For Dono Deck Thursday. This is the first donation deck of the day. This is a Lurrus control deck that's playing Glittering Wish, so you can have access to Supreme Verdict and Teferis. I don't know if the deck is necessarily good, but it's been very fun so far. Can we steal the Ascendant Spirit? Not lucky enough to draw Archmage's Charm. But I also do like the... I would rather sets be pushed and like higher power and have a lot of interesting cards that are dynamic and change the format than have a million... what's that set called that I always make fun of? The set with the pirates and the dinosaurs. Which one is that? The pirates and the not Strixhaven, Ixalan. That's the set I always make fun of. Strixhaven too, to some degree. I mean, I think it's fine to have like every once in a while a set like this that's underpowered and modern, but. And this is also just how I prefer the game to be. I like when the game changes a lot. And I like when new stuff enters. It's okay if you don't. That's the nice thing about Magic is everybody enjoys different aspects of the game. So they drew a Scrying Sheets. They played the Scrying Sheets. Do we just get Supreme Verdict so we don't lose to a counterspell? It's either that or Teferi Time Raveler. I guess Detention Sphere too. I'm just going to get the Verdict. Obviously, this is not how I'd like to be using my Supreme Verdict, but I think my opponent has a counterspell. Obviously, their deck's weird. It's not super common. You see Liliana of the Veil and counterspells, but they're playing Snapcaster Mage. They've got a bunch of blue mana. Game 2. Lost to Snow. Yikes. Do something like this. Yeah. Like, I certainly understand that modern changing is, like, super expensive, and... if you don't like when Magic changes a lot, you're like, that's a totally reasonable take to have, right? It's just how I enjoy it. Yeah, I'm gonna get the coffee real quick. Ah, holy crap. Dude, Esther was right behind me when I got up. Scared the crap out of me. And Esther scared me so bad. She was just standing right there. She had just walked in. Keep. Right, they're a discard deck, so I'm gonna go crack the Bauble on their turn, not mine. Oh, word, the guy who doesn't own cards and has Exile doesn't mind what constantly come out class replaced. I mean, I've been buying a lot of paper cards, Lockhart. I've got an extensive modern collection at this point. But that did characterize me at one point. There's an opt on top. I kind of want to keep that. But no, I have a modern collection. I've got a big one. I've got like basically every blue control deck. Although I am missing a couple of like Misty Rainforests. Been waiting till I can get good deals on them. Like every once in a while there's like a near mint one from Zendikar for $60 on TCG Player. Yes, you can Glittering Wish for Lurrus. I really hope it comes up today. Obviously, it's not the ideal wish target. I would say I'm even maybe more so the reason I like modern changing is because the stream is the biggest part of Magic for me, and when modern is like new and exciting, it's better for the stream. And the stream is the most important thing. Cryptic Command on top. Let's go ahead and keep that up there. Good card. What do I enjoy more, playing in paper or playing online? I mean, paper Magic is maybe my favorite thing in the world to do. So I guess paper Magic. That being said, I haven't played it in a long time, and also I love the stream and the community we've created, and so I really enjoy streaming. Like, this aspect of it's definitely quite good too. Oh, was I supposed to get a Hallowed Fountain, so that way I can, if I have to, I could maybe Veil of Summer a Thoughtseize and still cast Lurrus next turn for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I mean, everybody I think is gonna have to relearn all the habits that they had in paper. Yeah. I think that the opinion I have that modern is good when it changes is not a popular one, but that's fine, right? That's the nice thing about Magic is that everybody enjoys different things about the game. Maybe I should have pitched the Charm, so if I draw a land, I could go Lurrus plus Mana Leak. Not sure. And obviously, I'm super biased because if Modern is they didn't plus on the Snapcaster. Oh, it has hexproof. It's a bummer for them. Echoing Truth on top. Weird. Yeah, obviously, you know, when Modern is changing a lot, it's really good for the stream. So that's definitely why I like it, or a big part of the reason why. And I think that you guys should be able to accept that. So it has Echoing Truth mystery card. They don't get to plus on the Jace on the Snapcaster again. That's such a bad beat. I can't believe it. Let's play the Ice-Fang so we can pressure the Jace. Yeah, I was definitely a notorious card flicker back in the day. Don't plan on not being anytime soon. Yeah, Veil of Bummer, like maybe the least fun card currently in Modern. Either that or Teferi the Fun Raveler. I mean, it literally says Fun Raveler in the name. So I guess that's maybe the less or the more unfun card. Although to be fair, they could have played around Veil of Summer both of these turns. They discard Snow-Covered Island, so their last card is just a Echoing Truth. We could let this resolve. I'll counter this so that way we can keep pressuring the Jace. Oh, I forgot about Matter Reshaper. Yeah, Matter Reshaper is actually the least fun card in Modern, for sure. Not even that close. I think I'm just gonna Lurrus. If they Echoing Truth my Lurrus, it's whatever. Way out of cards in their hand. Dude, Darsh, I'm also very clumsy in paper, but I also have very shaky hands that stems from my dysgraphia. And so my hands are very shaky naturally, which is also part of the reason why I'm not great at video games. But I have gotten many warnings for like knocking my deck over, knocking my opponent's deck over. I remember the first time I ever played against a Hall of Famer, I was playing against Eric Froelich. And I was shuffling his deck and I knocked it over on accident. And the judge gave me a warning, but Eric was nice and said I should not have gotten the warning. Yeah, I have dysgraphia. I was diagnosed with it when I was like a little kid. And I have 3 siblings. All 3 of them have been diagnosed with dyslexia. But I was diagnosed with dysgraphia. And I don't... obviously, there's some genetic thing going on. But I don't know exactly what. Yeah, Cling to Dust here. As a plug, what is dysgraphia? Yeah, it's you know, it's similar to dyslexia if you've heard of it, where it has a few different symptoms where it makes like most aspects of like reading and writing a bit difficult. It's kind of difficult to explain, but a lot of times like my hands don't like do exactly what I want them to do. They're just like a little shaky and unwieldy, and it makes writing very difficult. I have really bad handwriting, but it's not like a huge, it's not a hugely impactful disorder either. It's not like of all the disorders, it's one of the least impactful, I'd say. But it's also kind of difficult to describe, I suppose. Yeah, motor skills would probably be the words to use. And I don't really think I have a very severe case either. So you can blame misclicks on dysgraphia. I mean, that definitely does happen, but I mean, I'm sure longtime viewers of the channel, maybe every viewer of the channel, can see that I'm kind of spacey. I don't know exactly the word to describe, but you know, I'm not great at pronouncing things. There's a lot going on. Everybody's got their own shit. Yeah, like the dropping from the PTQ. That was just dysgraphia. That wasn't anything I could have done. I think my opponent's just trying to see more of the deck, so I'm not gonna not Glittering Wish for the Serpent. You guys really think I wasn't gonna wish for this? I guess I'll just kill him though. Could have done that instant speed. No. Huge punt. So the original list had the Sphinx, Dream Trawler, but I think Koma's better. Can't be countered. Could be wrong. But I mean, I'm not gonna slow roll too hard. Not gonna slow roll too hard there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be him and just like I get to cast my Koma, the Cosmos Serpent. The best, just like Brainstorm, the best Koma is the one that you never cast. Hey Doom, how's it going? Doom, I saw that you were playing the Expressive Iteration Prowess deck. I like the way you built it. I've been trying to figure out other shells for Expressive Iteration, but just like Prowess seems like the most obvious great shell for it. But it's also possible that like Iteration is just good in every blue-red deck. You just play lands off of it. Did you find Optimalist for Lurrus Steel Showdown Bauble's shell? Of all the drafts I played, it felt like the first draft I had was the best one. I've seen someone 5-0'd with cutting Showdowns, adding Skyclaves, but I like Showdown so much. I like the Showdown so much. So I'm actually supposed to Bauble myself in their upkeep. Yeah, that actually is... Oh, I undid the stop. But if I Bauble myself in their upkeep, I still get to fetch for whatever duel I want to without having to keep a bad card on top. I think that's a mistake I've been making. So we just Glittering Wish for Teferi here? I think we do. My opponent has not played and they played Drown in the Lock, but yeah, that's the only counterspell we've seen, I think. What about Grixis midrange shell with discard? What about it? Well, that just resolved. Narfi? They can bounce. They can bring Narfi back. How's the Jabberwocky deck? Oh, they can bring it back at instant speed. What a play! That's awesome. We went 3-2 with the Jabberwock the last time we played it. Deck felt fine. And they're not killing Teferi? Weird. So then I go Onthanize Jace, and then Ice-Fang block Narfi. Is Rhox more controller than Jund? I'd say it's very comparable. Pretty fine if they just spend 3 mana to bring Narfi back. Oh, it shows for expressive iteration. Yes, thank you, Darsh. I forgot. I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, I think that Grixis with like Discard spells, Kroxa, Jace Vryn's Prodigy definitely feels like a reasonable shell. Okay, so we can go block Narfi. They play around the Ice-Fang. But we can go bounce Onthanize with Cryptic Command, Legend Rule the Jaces, and then Onthanize again. Just one of my favorite lines to take. Is that still the play? It's maybe a bit too cute. Whatever. It's a cool line. I want to take it. Well, there's only one good target here. This deck is a blast, dude. This deck is so sick. Yeah, there's no reason to steal it now, of course. You had that at instant speed with Teferi uptick. I keep forgetting that. So it's Path to Narfi, and then they're pretty incentivized to sink mana into the Spirit. Yeah, and then sadly they're going to concede before we get to play Koma. They're not conceding. All right, let's try to draw a land for Koma. Oh, so unlucky. I don't really... Like, this isn't the right play. Probably. No, that's probably fine. Oh, I don't have enough snow. I need 4 snow? Man, our deck is so bad. Yeah. We have to spend 4 snow to do this. Yeah, brutal that we don't have it. We didn't have the 7th land for Koma. I'm getting pretty unlucky this game. But we'll persevere, I suppose. Did we not? Yeah, I mean, whatever. We should have spell snared, yeah. But also, I don't think it... You know, we can kind of take gameplays in action here. I'm going to mana leak this Cling to Dust. Since I'm using my mana next turn anyways, just deny them the draw. We have entered the Koma Cosmos Serpent stage of the game. I love Donation Deck Thursday. I love Donation Deck Thursday. I hate casting spells though. I just want to flick them into play. I usually play Arena Mobile. Just flick the cards into play. Aspiring Spike, first person to ever cast Koma Cosmos Serpent in Modern. That's probably not true. But I've got to be like in the first 5 people to ever cast this card. The card is called Koma's Coil. That is so cool. I didn't even know that was I had no idea that was the name of this token. And my opponent is playing it out, which is awesome. Obviously gonna kill him with the Koma. This deck is a blast, dude. It's a hoot and a half. The Lurrus Koma deck. The Lurrus Koma deck. You guys believe that we'll draw a land? Got 3 looks. I believe. If we don't draw a land, it's because chat didn't believe hard enough, also. Maybe I'm actually supposed to cast Cycle Bubbles on my turn because of Opt, actually. Well, they revealed Bloodbraid Elf, so looks like Ponza. I believe. Blood Moon on top. Alright, we've got to believe real hard here, chat. I don't know. We're like pretty favored to hit, right? Miss? Alright, that's a land. And stops them from Blood Mooning next turn. If we can draw a green fetch land and just get stop Blood Moon from being that impactful, it's gonna be really, really key here. Well, maybe they don't have the 3rd land. Yeah. It does stink to play against Taxes and Ponza, which are like the 2 matchups where Nice really doesn't shine. They didn't cast Blood Moon. Okay. And we drew a path to get our forest. Praise Clothis, by the way. Merciful Clothis. What happens when a snow duel gets Blood Mooned? It still has the snow type, so Nice doesn't fall off. Yeah. Oh, when a duel gets mounted, I see. I'm actually not sure. Hit Arbor Elf off their Bloodbraid Elf. Now this turn, do we just play out Snapcaster? Probably, I think. Well, we can snap Pathcloth this. Let's actually do that. Do that on their upkeep. Also, my opponent, of course, has no pillages in their deck. And the 2/1 blocker is also pretty good on this board. Sorry, Clothis. Just sending you back to Nyx. Snap, Path, Fetch. I'm gonna try to bad the Magus if the moon is against us. If that would let me also play Ice-Fang, pathing the Magus, maybe that's like more of a consideration. Alright, first Bloodbraid Elf hit Arbor Elf. We'll see if we're as lucky this time. Cast Arbor Elf X = 0. What is this line of text here? What? The chat says cast Arbor Elf X = 0. What? It does that every time you cast a spell for free? It's not wrong. I mean, it's kind of wrong. There's no X. So we can Path Magus and play Ice-Fang. Don't have a second basic forest. We can get Breeding Pool, Prairie Stream, I guess. I think the second basic island is better. Although the double white for Lurrus could be relevant. It's a third Bloodbraid Elf. Glory Banger. And another Bloodbraid? Jeez. And a Questing Beast. Yikes. So they're going to exert onto the Ice-Fang. And then we can Path Magus, block the Glorybringer, take 7, fetch down to... I think we have to do that. No, we can't Path Questing Beast. We have to Path the Magus. Really wish we had a second basic forest. We could maybe block Bloodbraid Elf instead of the Glorybringer, though. That could be better. We take less damage this turn, but then next turn they can't attack with this. We would go down to 3 if we did that. Let's see what we draw off the Ice-Fang before we make a decision. This was a great turn for them, though. Floodplain. Right. Oh, down to 2? I miscalculated, I guess. Good turn. We're going to go turn 1, Qasali Pridemage, turn 2, Concede the Match. Kind of like, reminds me of turn 1, Celestial Colonnade. Turn, your opponent puts 8 power into play with hollow ones. Might not be sideboarding. I think our main deck is okay against them. Probably want to cut the Spell Snare. Actually, they've been playing a lot of Written 6s lately. Talesyn is actually maybe good on the play, especially if they're playing Questing Beast. Counters their Planeswalkers, Questing Beast, Karn if they play Karn. Most of us play Karn. Klothys. I guess Talesyn is maybe better than Snare on the play. I think I want 3/4s. I guess I probably want to trim Antonice. Can probably still afford to play a couple of copies. Karn builds don't run Questing Beast. I guess that makes sense. But I mean, either way, they've got the 4-mana legend, right? But that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's a correct read. But Karn seems so good right now. Just want to make sure I can Ice-Fang on 2 here. They have a Lightning Bolt that they're drawing this turn. Yeah, Klothys is another Talesyn target. And then... yeah, Magus of the Moon is actually really bad for us. They have a snow-covered mountain. So we have to draw 3 new cards. Man, Magus is so scary here. I think I need to Breeding Pool so that way I can Charm next turn. We can force Blood Moon. We're just really cool to Magus, I guess. Yeah, you can Talesyn the Cascade, but it's not like a super good exchange for you, probably. Okay, so we could force this Utopia Sprawl so that my opponent could not Magus of the Moon me. Obviously, I'd much rather force the Blood Moon, but like we can't force Klothys, we can't force Magus, we can't force Spyro. Yikes. That's bad.
I picked a flower for you, my lovely Spike.
Thank you, Esther.
No. Oh.
No,
What is my name?
What?
What is my name?
I think it's Esther.
It goes on perfect on the crook of your ear.
It does, yes.
Wait, that's the wrong ear that's showing. Oh no, it is showing. Okay.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your name?
Yeah, that's my name.
Okay. So we know our opponent has a lightning bolt, so if they minus here, if we path our own Ice-Fang, they can bolt in response. I think it's okay. Just like, yep, counter the bolt, you know. Alright, so we can hold up Charm this turn, and next turn we can go Lurrus Bauble. I guess get the Lurrus bolted, but get some card advantage. Can this be a new hat redemption? Sadly, my dear sweet Esther is not always here to pick a flower. I don't know where she got it from. It's just outside. It's illegal to play Veil of Summer. Let's see if my opponent knows that yet. Not that it's like banned or anything. It's just I'll complain about it if you play it. All right, so if we go Lurrus Bauble, it just gets bolted. I think now that we've drawn Snapcaster, just hold up the snap. Maybe they'll bolt the snap too. You guys remember when I was playing a ton of Pioneer and I played a lot of Questing Beast and like that green-black rock deck? Those were simpler times. They already plus their Rin, right? Yeah. Let's go to get the basic forest here. Koma's probably pretty good at this matchup too, by the way. They attack Rin in 6. This is just the sickest deck ever. They do bolt Snapcaster, so I think we're going to go Lurrus this turn. Let me just think. Yeah, it seems like it's correct to play Lurrus here. Now that they use the bolts, get the Bauble. I have a Scavenging Ooze, which can eat my Baubles, I guess. But now I've got Koma mana. We can come up with a land next turn. Yeah, but we can't if we don't draw a land. Is my counter argument. It doesn't seem fine. Is Rhox War Monk's best sideboard option? Sideboard slot seems super weak. Well, it's pretty good against red decks, I think. It's nice that it's like a turn 3 spell, but your other options are, I think, Tolsimir, Friend to Wolves, Kitchen Finks, Heroes Reunion as like the life gain option, right? No, Koma costs 7. 8 Windswept Heath over Logic Knot? So I want to trade Lurrus for Ooze. Let's see what I draw. I'll offer the trade, I think. They declined. I don't know how that stop got unstopped. Wasn't better Path Beast instead of counter it? I mean, Path gives them a land. It's an interesting thought, though. They've got a lot of lands in play already. I mean, we could Teferi this turn, but Teferi doesn't seem that good on this board. You have few 4/1s, any sideboard slot recommendations so you can trophy. I remember the last time I looked at your sideboard, I thought it looked good. Just keep grinding, I guess. No, Teferi minus is really bad because they have Rin in 6. I think. You play any Legacy? I used to play a lot of Legacy. I still do from time to time. I haven't enjoyed it as much lately, especially like the fair matchups. I think that, you know, it was Astrolabe and Oko, but Uro is also like, has made me not enjoy fair Legacy as much as I used to. They are playing Karn. But what are they going to get? I usually play a lot of Ant at Legacy. I actually played it at the one Pro Tour that was ever a Legacy Pro Tour. And did pretty well with it. Top 32. I was the pioneer of Kihira, also as the companion in Ant, for like the 2 weeks that it was good before they got coding, which you can mana league, which was good for like 2 weeks before. It was like good after the Lurrus ban and before the companion nerf to play Kihira and Ant. Well, this is the second time we're casting Koma today. I'm just gonna get a basic island here. I mean, they might be playing in Snaring Bridge in their sideboard, right? Can't really attack with Lurrus. So should I Koma the Karn to stop it for activated abilities from being activated? I think I should, right? Yeah. Dude, Koma was such a good inclusion. Tooting my own horn a bit. Although Dream Charlotte wouldn't be too bad in this spot either. Yeah, Koma is Ice-Fang's dad. Honestly, like, look how long the snake is here. E-coding with Ooze, get it back with Karn. Maybe. I should probably just eat a creature, honestly. Because, like, I don't think coding's doing that much for them here. Stick is a blast. How did I feel about the Valkyrie Bring Slight deck yesterday? I think that the deck is really good, honestly. It just makes so much sense in my head. We played against a ton of Tron, which seems to be a bad matchup for the deck. So I'm gonna think a bit on that, I suppose. But I like the deck a lot, and I'm probably gonna play more of it tomorrow. But yesterday wasn't like it wasn't a bad showing, I'd say, but it wasn't an amazing showing, like I was hoping it would be. I don't. Ice-Fang is a snake, not a serpent, and hasn't grown up yet. Maybe I'll make my Sea Monster EDH deck blue-green and have Koma be the commander, but most of my creatures aren't serpents. Most of my creatures aren't serpents. Lurrus and Koma fighting side by side. Beautiful sight to see. We'll get Lurrus from our sideboard. I think we tap the Ooze here. So we can just kill their planeswalkers. And I think I'm sending Red and 6 at Lurrus and Koma at Karn. It's just so bad if they kill my Lurrus and then they can activate Karn. Oh. Classic say one thing, almost just do the other. It doesn't mean they can ping my Ice-Fang with Red and 6, but if Lurrus lives, we just get Red and 6 back with Ice-Fang. Or, sorry, with Lurrus. Lifelink kind of nice too. Play this so we can, I guess, get third island for Blood Moon. Yeah, if they kill, oh, they can eat the Ice-Fang with Ooze. Good point. Although what we can do is we can, if we really care this much, we can Koma the Ooze, and then in response to the Ooze activation, we can cast Ice-Fang. That kind of seems worth it. This also stops the attack. Seems they're pretty flooded. Well, you don't have to do... I mean, I guess we didn't have to do this in upkeep, but as soon as you cast it, it leaves the graveyard. It enters the stack, so there's no window for them to ooze. But maybe I should have, like... I mean, whatever. Yeah, I think we've drawn 4 lands in a row, unfortunately. But fortunately, we're also very, very ahead. On the bright side, we're really ahead, so... And my opponent's also super flooded, so no complaining here. Could have eaten Coatl during their turn to prevent Lurrus. I had activated Koma to tap the ooze and make the ooze lose all activated abilities in response to them killing my Ice-Fang. So that way they couldn't activate the ooze after the Ice-Fang died, and then in my upkeep, there was no window for them to eat the Ice-Fang either. So, cool spot. Well, Tails End seems a lot worse on the draw. Let me play a Spell Snare, because we did see Ren in 6. They're also playing ooze. Game 3 is going to be tough. My modern staple, Koma Cosmos Serpent. Keep, I guess. yeah. Come on, chat. Don't you know what Koma does? Alright, let's take both Baubles on our turn. In case we want to force Rin in 6, we can have as much access as we want to, blue cards. There's also Karn on top, so maybe we can try to save Force for that, but I'll probably need to force Rin in 6. I've actually been impressed by Koma too. I wasn't I think it made sense to play. They don't have a fetch land though. Classic Rin in 6, no fetch land, right? Just let it go. I don't think we're gonna path anything. I guess we would path a Magus. Oh, there he comes. Watch out, Clothis. I'll path the Exile. Hey, is Koma just the sickest in Standard, or what? Is this Clothis just dominating Standard, or sorry, Koma? So we could put Lurrus in our hand and force Karn, but it's so bad if they play Questing Beast. Might even be best to just draw 2 anyways. And force the Karn. Try to have Cryptic up for next turn. I'm gonna hold the Force. Especially, also they could be playing Veil of Summer. We don't know for sure if they've gentlemen's agreemented to not play Veil, but it seems like they have. Draw land. We can bounce this. Cool. It's a good land to draw to. So bad for them that they've drawn Ren in 6, not returned a single land, but they're still flooded. It's a really bad combination. So we can kind of bounce Ren just to make sure we don't get Rimblemed out of the game, but we don't need to counter it on the way down. Dude, they're not. What? That's so uncool. I thought we had a gentleman's agreement, opponent. Seismic, 3 months. Appreciate ya. Thank you for your resub. Hey, Eliza. Feels good not to not care that much about Ren in 6. I think we could counter draw here. I'd like to draw a land. Wish granted. Can't Lurrus in hand and hold up path. Just pass. Feel really good about yourself today. I hope you do too. Glad to hear it. I'm actually in a really good mood today. Maybe it's because Esther put a flower in my hair. Although, no, did it fall? Where is it? Must have fallen. Oh, no. They just let this resolve. Lurrus's second point of toughness is basically the entire format right now. That sounds like a great tweet. I do want to draw a land. It's just not a green sword. We can go Snap Opt, pressure Ren in 6. I think if we draw a land, we can maybe go Lurrus in hand with Force up. But here, I think I'm just going to hardcast Force. Hope the last card isn't Veil of Summer. Lurrus and hold path. Maybe. I was thinking I was going to snap opt. Wait, that was better though. We maybe get God if they have a bolt for my Snapcaster Mage. Well, they use their stomp. Don't need to counter the Bone Crusher, just have the Ontonice, which answers it pretty cleanly. Opponent just never, ever coming close to drawing a fetch land. Do we steal the Arbor Elf? I guess so. We do have Forest in our deck, and I need to be able to hit the Ren and 6. Interesting. So we can Tails in the Rimblum. I think I'm just going to attack them. Or sorry, attack the Ren. If they minus, we can go Snap Opt and kill the Ren. I think I'll just actually Tails in this. And then, do I just take the Bloodbraid hit or use my path? Seems kind of close. I'm just going to use the path. This way I can go Snap Charm next turn, attack Ren, and then maybe kill Ren with Snapcaster. So getting, kind of 3 for 1 there. Just not getting Blood Mooned by the Bloodbraid seemed pretty good. Top decks back-to-back Bloodbraid Elves, classic. Although they just said Arbor Elf, which I suppose is also classic, right? So here we can go Snapcaster, steal Arbor Elf, and then use the Arbor Elf to kill Ren and 6 and just block the Bloodbraid Elf. And then we're pretty ahead, although our Mana Leak is pretty dead. We have Lurrus to grab. We have the first top deck. We have Arbor Elf in play, which can untap some forests in our deck. Oh, wrong blocker. Can go Lurrus, Bauble here. It is possible that we should be getting a basic island here. That way, if my opponent does Blood Moon me, I can still cast... I guess I only have 2 triple blue cards left in the deck. I'll get the Breeding Pool. Just try to fade Blood Moon this turn. We even get to see what they're drawing. They drew back-to-back Bloodbraid Elves. This time they're just drawing Utopia Sprawl. Bauble before fetch. I mean, it doesn't. We're tapping out to Bauble anyways. We can't Bauble first. Let's go Snap Opts. And then do I shock to be able to attack for 1? I think we do because we have the lifelink. Double Mana Leak should counter most scary things here. It does counter any 3-drop, which is nice. Particularly that one. I don't know why I'm feeling like casting both at the same time doesn't work, but it does. Snap Cryptic, bounce the land. I mean, they can still... I guess that does cut them off double red. Maybe that's worth it. Now I'll just Bauble. But that could have been a better line. They're drawing a Bloodbraid Elf, which is probably their best draw with us having Cryptic. Still not enough, I think. They hit Scavenging Ooze. I'll counter the Ooze. Pretty good against my Lurrus. That's a Koma. Although, It may just be better to go Glittering Wish for Dovin's Veto, so we don't lose. Like, I feel like the only thing we lose to are is Karn for Bridge. As good as Koma was last game. Maybe I should have bobbled first. Wish for Koma. Yeah, we've already wished for Koma twice today. Drawing Arbor Elf and the game is over. Okay, we can snap path the Arbor Elf. Yeah, Koma actually has won us 2 games. About to be 3-1. Sick. So lots of taxes. We had a snow deck here. What was this match? This was the Bring to Light deck, and then beating up on Ponza. Yeah, this deck is a treat. Keep this on the draw on the blind. Yeah, Koma kind of seems sick in Amulet. What do control decks ever do? Why don't I play zombies often? It's just not very good in the Prowess metagame, but I do really like those decks. But in the Prowess metagame that we're living in, it's just not one of the better strats. Opponent's on some spice. Don't know what I want a Glittering Wish for. Just Teferi bounce the Copter next turn. Probably better to Ice-Fang. Maybe I should play Vista. I feel like I'm gonna get Bone Crusher Giant. Gotta have my bones crushed. Do we? Yeah. I'm planning on pathing my Ice-Fang here, so if they do kill it, we get to exile the Bone Crusher, potentially. That's we don't know exists, for sure, and then play this next turn. Okay. Pay my actors less, I suppose. Fair criticism. I mean, conceding to conceal info seems like reasonable play because I don't have any idea what's going on. Like, these Force of Negations are probably bad, but I think I'm just gonna click submit. Yeah, you can wish for Lurrus. I think it'll almost never come. What's the opponent's record? Keep, I guess. Let's put back the Force. It's probably it's like the only castable card. Can force their Copter. Play a second Lurrus so you could wish for it after the first one gets killed. Doesn't seem like the worst idea that's been suggested today. The Bauble on top. It also doesn't seem like it would be like our sideboard's already really taxed, Makes some sense. Archon's a really good card. How come you're playing Path? I didn't like in the crit meta. I mean, this deck plays Snapcaster, so I think you need some Paths in the 75. I'm also liking Path to Exile more now that Ponza's popping back up. Where Path is is better against Ponza than most other removals. Yeah, my Path to Exile stock is increasing now that the meta is shifting. I guess I mana leak this, but it's probably our only Force of Negation target. They may be playing Coco. I mean, who knows what they're doing, right? Okay, so we can play Misty Rainforest tapped and do nothing this turn, or we can put Lurrus in our hand. Lurrus isn't doing that much since we can't go Lurrus Bauble with Archon in play, but I think I just want to do this. Hopefully we can force like a copter here. Surely they're not playing Bloodbraid Elf Arc. They are playing Magus of the Moon. Oh, we can't wish for Verdict this turn because Misty Rainforest enters tapped because of Archon. And now we probably just lose. Let's go to game 3. Tails encounters like Thalia. Tails encounters their fetch lands. Were they playing fetch lands? I feel like they're playing fetch lands and Magus and not Arbiter. I guess I'll play 2 Forest. Forcing Copter is okay. We could bring in the Pridemage. Alright, see if the top card of my library is something I really want. It's an Ice-Fang. Worth drawing. Yeah, I also agree that the companion should not have been hybrid colors. I think that's a very good point that probably doesn't get brought up enough. We have the Pridemage to answer this. I think I'm just gonna Ice-Fang this turn.
So I don't know what Athena wants. I took her out. She pooped. I gave her water. She's just been following me and panting. I played with her.
How many times have you taken her out?
Once. Does she go again?
She might just be a little stopped up, you know.
Does she already poop? Oh, again?
Yeah.
You need to poop again?
Like I think that would be my read because she didn't poop with me this morning, so.
Okay, well I'll take you out one more time. That's the last time I'll ever take you out.
Sorry for all the poop talk chat. If we play Pridemage, we do just like lose to like a lot of their threat. Yeah. Oh no. Betrayed by Toski. I guess we can wish for a detention. Dio, 11 months, appreciate you. Man, just not doing anything this turn stinks. Toski, too good? Ban it. Oh, I also don't have a... I can't go Glittering Wish and Pridemage this turn. So I guess I'm just going to get a breed. Oh no, I'll get Prairie Stream and go Pridemage that can block the Toski and then hold up 2-mana counterspell. And next turn we can go Glittering Wish for either Tef or... Yeah, this is a Lurrus plus Teferi deck, which is pretty cool. Do I want to leave Ice-Fang in my graveyard or Bauble? I think just Bauble. Logic Knot, better than Mana Leak. Better than Counterspell. Okay. So they get to draw a card off the Geist. So we get to exile Toski. We've now wished for Detention Sphere, Dovin's Veto, both Teferis. I don't think we've wished for Verdict. We wished for Koma. No, I haven't wished for Wheel. We've wished for most of the... Yeah, I could wish for Lurrus. It's true. Do I want to attack here? Nah, we're control that. You verdicted a snap. Oh, that's right. I did wish for verdicts. Lost that game. I don't think I'm blocking Strangleroot, Did you draw Magus? Another Spyro? Wow. Spyro into Spyro. Discarding another one. Okay, well. Fair enough. Misty. Hoping we can find another wish and find a verdict. Gonna keep a Cryptic and Cryptic tap for a turn or two. I think attacking is right because you're only stopping Elf. I feel like stopping Elf is like, I honestly just like don't really want to trade 3 damage for 1 damage. Is what. Okay, I feel like my opponent has Magus. Did I not want to block the guys? Not really. Oh, maybe I should block it because of the verdict. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe I'll just like let them attack. Take 4, block the Geist. Makes sense. Thinking Clothis that they don't have another Tusk. I need to cycle a Cryptic Command. Okay, I don't think we can just do nothing here. Maybe we can. Maybe it'd be fine. Cool. I think they're going to Spyro this turn. So I think I'm going to wait on the... I guess we could wish now and hold up the verdict. But then they just like, they just play right into... Like there's no... They could just play around it. Yeah, I think I'm going to let them Spyro here. And then verdict. Snap. Well, if we snap Cryptic, we don't have Mana Leak up. And we're tapping their Mana Elves, so we might actually get to Mana Leak of 4-drop here. Snap Cryptic for Lurrus value? Bounce Sphere. Well, Sphere... Yeah, if they play another... They get their tokens if they want them. They also, if they've been holding Boil, they get to Boil. Just tokens, good for us. They have 4 cards in their hand though. Winota? This is a Winota deck? Oh my gosh. We can snap Verdict. No, there's none. GG's. Well played. I guess it was a Winota deck, huh? Cool deck for sure. Alright, so let's talk about the... This deck was so fun. This deck was so fun. Really cool idea. I will say that it's possible with the uptick of Panza, like you just don't want to be on Anthonice anymore. You can maybe play a split of Oust and Path. Something to think about. I legitimately think Koma is good. Again, Rhox War Monk can be a few different cards. I'm also not sure about the sideboard. I think you'd have to play a lot to figure out, like, you don't, like, you probably want to play closer to, like, 6 or 7 wish targets. And I think that I suppose, like, these are the ones I'm confident in, and then, like, these feel like flex spots. You probably want to play, like, three of these 5. And then with the rest of your sideboard, you can cover, like, a bigger spread. Maybe some Aether Gust or worse. I don't know. I feel like Titan's just a really good matchup because you could just have turn 3 Ashiok in a lot of games. In game 1, you know? So I feel like Titan's probably a great matchup. So I'm not sure if Aether Gust is the card you want, but Aether Gust is nice because it is a versatile sideboard card. But I just think the Titan's just got to be a good matchup. Is Sideboard Pridemage for Lurrus value overnight? Yeah, that's the idea. But if you played Knight of Autumn, you can probably cut the Rhox War Monk and the Pridemage because they kind of do the same thing. So like that, there's value there, just like freeing up the sideboard slot. And this is like maybe the deck that has the most tax sideboard I've ever seen. I think I saw this. Yeah, I've seen. Oh, I guess this is a little different list, but I'm glad that they're still doing well with it. Okay, that was Bant Glittering Wish Control. I might play more of this deck just, you know, during the regular stream. I really liked it. So thank you to Coatl for the idea, and then Panda for donating for the idea. Moving on.